Well, results are continuing to come into our newsroom tonight. We have a crew of reporters around the Miami Valley and across the state breaking down who's won tonight and the implications these races could have on you.
Now, the first race we want to turn our attention to tonight is the race for U.S. Senate. This race could have major implications on who controls the U.S. Senate moving forward. The seat's going to be up for grabs following Senator Rob Portman's announcement that he would not seek re-election. Now, you can see at the moment, with 92% of the votes in, J.D. Vance in the lead, 54% over Tim Ryan with 46% of that vote. And we want to start tonight with Bryn Caswell, who is live in Columbus at the GOP watch party there. Bryn, any sign of Vance so far?
No sign of Vance so far. We've had multiple people speak on stage. We just had Attorney General Dave Yost and even Secretary of State Frank LaRose share their thoughts. And we even heard from Senator Rob Portman, who decided to not seek re-election this year, speak about J.D. Vance, who is leading in the polls right now. We just got this in. ABC is predicting Vance will win the Senate race tonight. And here's what Senator Rob Portman had to say.
I've been around the state some with J.D. I've seen the response he's getting. You've gotten to know him. People of Ohio have gotten to know him. And the policies he's talking about are the ones that Ohioans care about, right? So people are concerned about inflation and the economy and their family budgets. They are concerned about what's going on at the border because we're essentially a border state.
So right now, J.D. Vance is at 54% and Democrat Tim Ryan is at 46%. Now, this is with 92 of the precincts reporting. I'm here in Columbus right now. Franklin County is still not reporting their numbers. So there is a possibility that this race could tighten up. But again, we just got this in. ABC is predicting that Vance will win this U.S. Senate race. And the party is still going on here at the GOP watch party in Columbus. This was started out as a watch party, but now it really has turned into a victory party. So again, we will stick around as these U.S. Senate election results keep trickling in. Back to you.
Brent, thanks. Now to the Democratic side, where Democratic candidate Tim Ryan looking to turn both Senate seats in Ohio blue. Tyler Madden joining us now from outside Youngstown with Representative Ryan's campaign. Tyler, what can you tell us about what the mood is like there right now?
Hey, the music is back up at full blast now here in Boardman, Ohio for Tim Ryan's event. But just a few minutes ago, when it was projected that J.D. Vance will be the next senator from Ohio, it was a very somber tone in the room here as the audience. Every few minutes when there would be some announcement that was made on a vote total changing, they would lower the music and raise up the volume on the television. And then that was when the announcement came down that J.D. Vance will now serve as that next senator in the state of Ohio. So it's a very somber tone. We have not seen Congressman Tim Ryan. We see members of his campaign staff. We have not seen Congressman Tim Ryan yet, so we are not sure whether he'll be making any remarks. We haven't seen him or heard anything from him. But again, that news just coming down a few minutes ago that the projections are that J.D. Vance will be the next senator from the state of Ohio. So we'll bring you those remarks from Congressman Ryan, of course, as soon as they come out. But for now, reporting in Boardman, I'm Tyler Madden. Guys, back to you.
Tyler, thanks. We want to take a look at this map from CNN now that's on your screen. This is going to give you a better idea of how things are going in tonight's Senate races around the country. Going into tonight, the Senate was split 50-50. Democrats holding an advantage because of Vice President Kamala Harris's tie-breaking vote. Republicans need just one seat to take control of the Senate.
All right, and here's a look at results from the race for governor. The Associated Press projecting Governor Mike DeWine will win against former Dayton Mayor Democrat Nan Whaley. Whaley was looking to unseat the Republican governor while DeWine is running for his second term. You can see 92% reporting and DeWine in the lead with 63% of the votes. Now, Mamie Baugh is live in downtown Dayton tonight where the former Dayton mayor addressed a crowd of her supporters earlier this evening. And Mamie, what did she have to say when she took the stage?
Well, she says she will continue fighting for Ohio families, and I can tell you that Whaley and her campaign staff, the people that have been working on this campaign for months now, they are disappointed, and so were the people who showed up here today, but they are not deterred. Now, not long ago, she took the stage and conceded the race. She said she called DeWine and wished him well on his second term as Ohio governor. Now, Whaley did get a bit emotional. Speaking of the political glass ceiling she broke, becoming the first woman in Ohio to win a major party nomination to run for governor.
And after a tough loss like this, you might feel like giving up. And hey, no one would really blame you. There's a lot that's pretty broken about Ohio and our whole country. And there's a lot that's not. I stand before all of you and every little girl watching this at home as the first woman ever nominated for governor in the state of Ohio.
Now, Whaley says that tonight is a time for mourning, but tomorrow they get back up and fight. Speaking of gun control, codifying Roe, and issues that she ran on during this campaign. Reporting live in Dayton, Mimi Ba, Dayton 24/7 Now News.
Amy, thanks. We have a team of political experts here to put in perspective the issues and races that we've been following tonight. We're thrilled to have Bob Taft here, who served as Ohio's governor yourself back in 1999 and 2007, Secretary of State, House of Representatives. Quite a resume, and also now at University of Dayton teaching political science. So thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
So tell us a little bit about what you've witnessed so far tonight.
Well, it looks like J.D. Vance is going to go on to victory tonight. That is a huge victory for Republicans nationwide. There is no way Republicans can regain control of the U.S. Senate without winning this Ohio race. It's essential, but it's not sufficient. It's not enough. We still know Georgia, Arizona, Pennsylvania, those states are out. Republicans have to win like 2 out of 3 of those in order to prevail. So we'll see what happens. But the Vance victory was a big step for Republicans. The Senate leadership put in $28 million into Vance's campaign to make sure that he would win. Tim Ryan did not get that kind of additional help from the National Democrats. So they have to put that money in other states.
And this was a race that many experts across the country predicted was going to be close. We saw it in the polling. Now, as we approach the election day, though, you did see Vance start to get a little bit of an advantage, but I don't think anyone in the Republican Party was sitting thinking, oh, this is going to be a walk in the park. This was going to be a difficult one.
That's exactly right. I think Vance improved as a candidate. This is his first-time candidate.
Right.
I think he improved during the course of the campaign. I think the Republican sweep statewide in Ohio with a big victory from Governor DeWine, I think that helped push him over the top. So, and plus the national resources that came into Ohio on his behalf.
Well, there's something to be said, too, for the Ryan campaign in that despite the fact that Republicans won those statewide races, he still garnered, it seems, some Republican support for his campaign.
Absolutely. He got Republican support. He got independent support. He got blue-collar support. Some of the Trump voters voted for Ryan. So he did very well in a tough state.
So taking a national view here, you heard about the red wave as we came in to tonight. Did you see what would be considered a red wave, like the blue wave in 06 and the red wave in 10? And
we'll see something of a red wave in the U.S. House, where Republicans are certain to take control, but not in the Senate, because those campaigns are based a lot more, I think, on the personality of the candidate. People get to know them a lot better, and I think, unfortunately, we didn't always have the best candidates across the country. So it's still up for grabs across the country. We won't know till tomorrow or maybe even December if Georgia goes to a runoff.
I was about to say, you just never know with some of these races now. All right, Bob Taft, thank you very much for being here tonight. So if you would like to keep up with our coverage tonight, you can take out your phone, scan that QR code you see there. That'll take you to our Beyond the Podium section on our website. It's an all-encompassing part of our website. You can see results scrolling on the bottom of your screen as well. And again, it's all in one place. It's at Dayton247now.com. Now, as those races get called, we will alert you on air, online, and through our app. We'll send you push alerts if you'd like. With that app, you can get those breaking news alerts sent right to your phone. You can download it for free right now in the Google Play and Apple App Stores.
Well, a beautiful day to head out to the polls today with temperatures that made it up into the 60s, some places in the 50s, but really pleasant for this time of the year. Lots of sunshine. It's a chilly evening, 47 in Dayton, 44 Troy. We have 42 in Sidney at this hour. Cool spots, Wapakoneta sitting at 36. Now, we are going to continue to feel those temperatures fall through the overnight hours, mostly clear skies overnight. And it's not until the weekend, or Friday, I should say, we start to see some changes in our forecast. We had a cold front that'll be making its way in, and the potential for some much needed precipitation too. So I'm going to be talking about that, plus that colder air. But for tomorrow, kids heading out to the bus stop, coat in the morning, short sleeves will be coming in handy for the afternoon with highs around 70 degrees.
Natalie, thanks. Coming up, we head to Columbus to check in with the GOP candidates, the latest on some of Ohio's key races.
We're also tracking the races for State House. A look at the current numbers rolling in right after the break. And here's a live look from our Kettering House Sky Cam tonight. You are watching Dayton 24/7 now. Another look at the polls tonight as the AP is projecting Governor Mike DeWine will win a second term as the state's governor. Bryn Caswell is live in Columbus tonight. Bryn, we're following that race, but we're also following the U.S. Senate race. Have you heard anything more about what J.D. Vance might be saying tonight, or when it might come out?
Adam, all right, so Adam, we are hearing that J.D. Vance is predicted to win this U.S. Senate race. Everyone here at the GOP Watch Party have come into this room as if J.D. might be coming onto the stage to make his victory speech per se, but here's a look at the numbers currently. J.D. Vance is at 54% and Democrat Tim Ryan is coming in at 46%. Now this is with 92% of precincts reporting. There are some precincts that are not reporting, like here in Columbus, Franklin County, they have not turned in their votes yet, so this race could tighten up, but again, he is in, J.D. Vance is in the 5 percentage point lead at this point. And again, like I said, a lot of people are still here tonight. They seem to be waiting for JD to get on stage and speak, because it is projecting that he will win this U.S. Senate race. So Senator Rob Portman was here earlier in the evening. He was the current senator that decided not to seek re-election. And this is what he had to say about JD Vance. All right, we do not have that sound, but again, we are here. It sounds like JD might be taking the stage soon, so we'll come back to you guys once he does. Back to you.
All right, Bryn, thank you. This is not the only U.S. Senate race we're keeping a close eye on. Take a look at this. This is a highly contested race for Senate in Georgia and Pennsylvania. In Georgia, there's been a very small percentage of fluctuation between Republican Herschel Walker and Democrat Raphael Warnock. About 75% of votes are in and counted. Still far too close to call. But so far, Walker has a very small 33,000 or so vote lead there. In Pennsylvania, it's also a nail-biter tonight. Look at this. They're only reporting about 66% of votes counted right now. Republican Dr. Oz, Mehmet Oz there, behind a little bit of Democrat John Fetterman, less than 1%, though. We'll continue to update those numbers online and throughout the show tonight. You can also see them updated live on the bottom of your screen.
All right, we want to help put tonight's election results into context and what they mean for us all moving forward. So here with me now is Dr. Mark Clausen, professor of history and law at Cedarville University. Those numbers, kind of astonishing at this point. Does that surprise you at all to see how close some of these races are shaping up?
Well, not exactly. They've been predicted to be close, especially Pennsylvania. Even Ohio was predicted to be a lot closer than it turned out by a lot of people, although there were different polls. And we have other races that are kind of close too right now for the Senate and also in the House. It is questionable whether even the Republicans could lose one seat or two in the House.
So you don't see this being a sweep of red across the country then?
Well, not yet. It's going to happen near the end of the counting for me to see that. But right now, some of these races are really, really close, and the Republican is even behind a little bit.
Point you say that, you know, not right now, these votes are still being counted. They're close enough that this may not be something that we wake up tomorrow and even know who is a winner in some of these races.
No, in some states we won't. I mean, of course, here we won't even know some of the states out in the West. Nevada, Arizona, places like that are competitive. We may not know the results of those until sometime tomorrow or the day after even.
We talked earlier about the Senate, if it does lean more Republican. What are going to be some of the president's challenges moving into the second part of his term?
Well, obviously, he's not going to be able to get his legislative programs through. He's accomplished a few through the Democratic Senate and House, but he won't be able to go forward with those. Whether he can use the administrative agency route to get regulations or some other executive orders through remains to be seen. There will also be, I'm sure, investigations on the part of the Senate. Various committees will be formed to investigate various outstanding issues that they see.
As far as the race for governor here in Ohio, that was one race that was decided very quickly. Within the first minute or so of the polls closing, It was projected by some outlets that Governor DeWine would keep his seat, which he is doing. Did that surprise you how quickly that news came out and what that means?
Not really, no. He had held at least a 16 to 18 point lead before. And when you hold a lead that big, no matter who the pollster is, you're pretty much guaranteed. So you could almost call it. Now, I know they don't want to call it, but you could almost call it in that kind of a case.
What do you think the headlines are going to be tomorrow when people remember this midterm election?
Wow, that's a good question. I think they're going to remember it as being important, but in perspective, we've had other more important races, but we tend to think in the short run. So we see it as being crucial to democracy, we may say, but in reality, we've had worse situations before. We've had 1800 race, that's a long time ago, before me. We've had the election of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, we had the election of John Kennedy. Those are really crucial races. Compared to today, we need time to see, to get perspective on this particular race. Like
so many things, only time will tell.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Mark Clausen, for sharing your time with us tonight. Natalie.
Well, we're talking about some big changes in the forecast by later this week. Part of our impacts will be from Tropical Storm Nicole. Right now, a tropical storm with winds of 70 miles per hour, expected to become a Category 1 hurricane as it travels its way westward, eventually making landfall along the southeastern coast of Florida. And then as we get our front to push through, it is going to start to shift this storm to the north or east. And that means that track will mainly be southeast of our state, but we are expecting some impacts from this. So we're going to monitor this very closely, because as early as Friday morning, we could see some showers, but the best chance does look to be east of 75. So we're going to monitor the track. We could see it shift a little bit more to the west, bringing us more rain. I'm going to talk about potential rainfall totals coming up.
Natalie, thanks. A big talker on the ballot today is Issue 1. The constitutional amendment will make it easier to keep people locked up before their case goes to trial. Kate Seifert tonight is at the State House with what you need to know about it.
There's been a lot of back and forth when it comes to Issue 1. Supporters say it's all about public safety. Those against it say it targets poor communities and minorities. Let's break down what this all means. The plan says that when setting bail amounts, courts have to consider public safety, meaning a person's criminal record, the seriousness of a crime, and if they'll show up to court. Opposers indicate if a defendant doesn't come from a well-to-do background, they're stuck. And they also point to laws already in place giving judges the option to deny bail if necessary. Another issue on the ballot would give the final word on whether non-citizens can vote in local elections. And there's one Ohio village that hopes it doesn't pass. We're talking about the village of Yellow Springs. It's just south of Springfield. According to the census, about 25 people who live there would be affected if this passes. They are green card holding legal non-citizens. In 2019, voters in Yellow Springs decided that non-citizens should have a say in local elections. Local leaders, though, in the village say even though these people aren't citizens, they are contributing members of the community.
Professors at Wright State from Canada, Germany, married to U.S. citizens, kids in the schools. We have local business owners, people that care about, what we decide, in terms of local policies.
There is a status to citizenship. It matters. It means something. And again, my simple solution for those individuals is work to become a citizen.
Ohio's Secretary of State Frank LaRose overturned Yellow Springs' decision. Now the state issue up to voters. Reporting in Columbus, I'm Kate Seifert.
Kate, thanks so much. And we're now seeing some results for those state issues. You can see right now, Issue 1, 96% reporting, 78% are voting in favor. Now, Issue 1 would eliminate requirements that bail amounts and conditions are established beforehand. That means the courts would be required to use factors including public safety and a person's criminal history when setting a bail amount. And these are the results so far for Ohio's Issue 2, with 96% reporting, 77% are for, 23% against. Now, if passed, this would change the state constitution to say that only adult U.S. citizens who legally reside and are registered to vote in Ohio for at least 30 days can cast a ballot in future state and local elections.
And Lydia Bice has been tracking results for U.S. representative races near our region. Lydia, what are the results looking like so far?
Right now, I'm tracking who will eventually represent Ohio's 10th, 8th, and 4th districts in the United States House of Representatives. To represent Ohio's 10th district, which consists of Montgomery, Greene, and Fayette counties, Republican Representative Mike Turner is facing Democrat David Israti, who also ran for the position in 2012. The Associated Press is projecting that Turner will win. He is up by 62% of votes. Incumbent Warren Davidson is running against Democrat Vanessa Enoch for representative of Ohio's 8th congressional district. The two faced each other in the 2018 and 2020 general elections as well. The 8th district includes the cities of Springfield, Greenville, Middletown, and Hamilton. The Associated Press is projecting that Davidson will win. He is up by 67% of votes. To represent Ohio's 4th district, current Republican Representative Jim Jordan, who has held the position since 2007, is running against Democrat Tammy Wilson, who also ran for election to the U.S. Senate. The Associated Press is projecting that Jordan will win, as he is up by 69% of votes.
Well, we are tracking some big changes in the forecast. Rain possible by later this week, and much needed rain at that. We are more than 4 inches below the normal since September 1st. Just a trace of rainfall has been seen for November so far, so that leaves us 0.81 inches behind for the month of November. Moderate drought conditions. We'll have a new update coming up here shortly on Thursday to see if we've been upgraded. We also have an elevated fire danger, so keep that in mind. Avoid outdoor burning if possible. You can see here rainfall potential, though. This will be due to Tropical Storm Nicole, potentially Hurricane Nicole. It does look like we could see some higher totals to our southeastern counties, and unfortunately not much to the northwest. I'm going to talk about that cold blast of air coming up in a bit.
Natalie, thanks. Let's go on to Tim Ryan now. He is speaking at the podium. Let's listen in.
I am absolutely filled with gratitude. I am an extremely lucky guy, and I am grateful for a beautiful family. I have the most amazing wife. Secret that you saw the commercial, right? 7 out of 10. Crack a bottle of wine, right? That was a lie. We crack a bottle of wine if we hit 4 out of 10. If we hit 5 out of 10. If we hit 6 out of 10. 7 out of 10, we get the good bottle of wine out. That's the truth. But my wife is the most amazing mom. She was the most amazing school teacher. And she is an amazing wife. She quit her job. You know, you wonder if you...
All right, we are listening to Congressman Tim Ryan seemingly conceding the U.S. Senate race tonight to Republican J.D. Vance. We will have more election results coming up for you right after this short break.
All right, we want to get back to some of the local races here in our area tonight. Clara Faith has been following a levy for Kettering City Schools. And Clara, what are you learning right now?
Kettering City School District has declared a $5.99 mil operating levy as a win. They want to thank the Kettering community for voting. The superintendent, Maddie McClare Stewart, said in part, "We are very grateful to our Kettering community, especially in these challenging economic times, for their continued support of high quality schools. We understand the passage of this levy is significant for our community members in families." And also moving over to Trotwood income tax roll war levy, this is counting at 55% for and 58% against. We'll continue to keep you updated throughout the night. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Clara. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.